So God can speak of himself personally and of his heavenly court collectively. Does that make sense? So every time you read in the Old Testament the let us text, who will go for us? Man has become like one of us. Let us make man. Hey, let us go down. God is speaking of himself and his angelic host. He is not speaking of a plurality of persons within himself. I want you to go to 1 Kings chapter 22 quickly. Go with me to 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22. We'll begin reading from verse 19. I want to give you a little glimpse into God's heavenly court. I want to show you how God does things. This hopefully should give you a good indication. 1 Kings chapter 22 from verse 19. King Ahab at the time was seeking advice from his prophets. Everyone was telling him nice things. He was then told to inquire of a prophet named Micaiah. Look what it says in verse 19. Micaiah said, "Therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne." So he's seeing a vision now. "And all the host of heaven standing by him on his right and on his left. And the Lord said, who will entice Ahab to go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said this while another said that. Then a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said to him, how? And he said, I will go out and be a deceiving spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Then he said, you are to entice him and also prevail. Go and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord has put a deceiving spirit in the mouth of all these your prophets, and the Lord has proclaimed disaster against you. Whoa. People would read this and extremely be troubled. This would not sit well with many average churchgoers and their theology. Wow. Is God capable of actually sending one of his own in heaven to give deceiving words in the mouth of other human beings? Yes. Is this challenging you this morning? We think of God as a good God. Oh, he only does good things. He doesn't do bad things. Yes, he can do bad things. If you are bent on not hearing the truth, he out of his own resources will continue to feed you lies because you love not the truth. And Ahab here was a king that loved not the truth. And he was seeking prophets who would speak to him lies. And when he found a true prophet, and a true prophet spoke to him the truth, and he was disobedient, he got his back up, he was rebellious, and he said, I don't like that prophet. He doesn't prophesy to me good things. Micaiah saw a vision, and in heaven itself, in God's heavenly court, he saw God sitting on the throne. He saw his heavenly court around him, and God was saying, who's going to go down there and put deceiving words in the mouth of all these the prophets? And someone puts up their hand and goes, I'll go and do it. And God said, go and prevail. And Micaiah said to Ahab, the words of the prophets that you inquire of, that are giving you smooth words, have come directly from God himself. God has influenced these people against you. Do you know what we're seeing here, folks? We are seeing that God involves his angelic host in carrying out his will. God does not act independently like some autocrat who just does it and doesn't communicate to anyone. God is in the habit of communicating with his angelic host. Does he need to? No, he doesn't need to. He's God. He can do whatever he likes. It's his sovereign choice to do so. Does that make sense? God sovereignly chooses to involve his angels in his work.